Right, back again, working on the GS500. So 30-second update and then I'll talk about what I'm doing today. As you can see, front wheels back on for the last time. Wheels in, bolted up brakes on. New brake hose, which is slightly too long, but I'm going to live with it for the time being. I need to bleed the front brake. I've got the rubber guards on, which are a bit of a tight fit, so let's see how they perform once the bike's on the road. All the dashboard's done. So in the back of the bike I have painted the rear part of the frame. Still a bit unsure whether the black and grey works, or silver, whatever colour you want to call that. But it's done now, it's matte black. Really, all of this needed sandblasting and powder coating. As you can see, there's a lot of rust on this steel frame. But maybe that's a job for the future, would be to powder coat it. But for now, it's going to do for this summer, 2020 summer. So that's all done. This video, I'm purely talking about wheels and tyres. So I have chosen or found some Metzeler Tourance tyres for this bike, for this project. The rear is a 130/80/17 and front is a 120/90/17. So the front is slightly taller but not as wide, and it fits pretty snug in there. Now this is pumped up to 30-40 psi, way too high, but it's not going to get any bigger, basically is what I'm saying. It'll only shrink when I take a bit of pressure out of it. And now one of my concerns is that it's massive, that front tyre, and I am worried about handling. Just for the sake of comparison. Oh shit. Did not mean to do that. Try that later. So that's what was on there. And that is a... Can we see it? Where's the number? Cannot see it there. How the hell have I gone blind? There it is. That is a 110/70/17. So from a 110 to a 120/90. So in actual fact, the numbers ain't that big a difference. That surprised me, is that 110 to 120. 70 profile to a 90 profile, or the 70 to 90, I suppose, is a big jump. But anyway, yeah. So handling, yeah, a bit worried, but anyway, it looks cool. That's all that matters there. So I'll put that back there, and then yeah, on the back, just put the two tyres side by side. So that's a, I've forgotten already now. That's a 130, and that's a 120. So, bit of difference there. And then you can see the height difference is quite, I suppose it's not very scientific, but there is a bit of height difference there. Anyway, I found these on eBay, part one, for about 40 quid each. Brand new. These are 110, 120-ish. I might have that a little bit wrong, but they're quite expensive, brand new. So I found them. They looked good, because a lot of this project is about looks. Going for that Scrambler style, sacrificing performance for looks. So it looks like a meaty tread. And also, there's other people who've done scramblers. Well, there's lots of people's scramblers on YouTube. And so a lot of them have gone for really aggressive tyres, which look good. But this is going to spend 99% of its time on tarmac, blasting to work and back. And I want it to be safe and nice to ride, and ride it quick. So these are, I think they're either an 80-20 or 90-10. So it's like 90% on road, 10% off road, something like that. So hopefully the handle okay and there's decent bit of grip and I can rag the hell out of this bike. But anyway, so that's what I've gone for. What I'll do now is I'll just set up the tripod. I'm going to put on the swing arm, which is there, which is also matte black. Chuck the swing arm back on, refit all the suspension, maybe do the chain and sprockets if I have time. But I'll just do like a time-lapse video as per normal, put it back together, and then I'll probably call it a day for this video. So yeah, let's crack on. Just a little extra. This is the rear, let's call it the rear pivot, multi-link pivot for the rear suspension. I had an absolute nightmare finding a replacement bearing and bush. The one in there, it had rusted up and seized and collapsed, and previous owner just left it on there, and it would absolutely knackered. These ones have survived, but this one were knackered, and I just could not. Plenty of time on Google looking, could not find a new bearing for a GS500. So I measured, ripped out the old bearing, measured the ID, found the needle bearing on eBay for £6. But then the ID of the needle bearing was the wrong size. So luckily my dad turned me down a bush. So the bush fits onto the shoulder bolt perfectly, and then this bush fits perfectly inside that needle bearing. So that's like a custom suspension bush. So yeah, if you're just a little pointer there, you know, if you're struggling, you're gonna have to sort of make yourself a new bearing and bush for these, because I could not find a bush kit. And I had a Kawasaki KXF 450, and for like £50 you could get all these new bearings and bushes in a kit. But for this bike, no such luck. Anyway, back to it. Okay, so all done for today. Wheels on, bolts are mostly tight, brakes on there, that little support arms on. I should have really cleaned the brake caliper. I'll give it a wash soon. That's all bolted up and all looking good. Sprockets on, chain guides on. Still got to play back with this, which I'll do in a future video. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Just thought I'd add in there this rear tyre. That is the 130. Where's it gone there? The 130/80/17. Just for your knowledge, there is a lot of room, so I could have gone for a bigger tyre. It's a bit close to derailleur, but that's just what's the angle that the camera's looking at. Yeah, there is room for a bigger tyre. Bear that in mind, that that's the wheel all the way back, but still the wheel all the way forward, it doesn't rub. Right.